Welcome to this month's group healing session on autoimmune condition. I'm Angie Tourani, holistic healthcare practitioner, BodyTalk practitioner and instructor. And we are going to dive in and work with supporting your immune system to address any autoimmune condition. So distance treatments work with beyond the concept of time and space. It works with the concept of quantum entanglement, which means the energy can impact at distance. And we are working with these distance sessions to support your body's intelligence to heal any blockages that could be contributing to your current symptoms, conditions in form of autoimmune conditions, inflammatory conditions. Now, many times with autoimmune conditions, Western medicine has got little solutions, which could be anti-inflammatories, steroids, antibiotics, and many times it's all about suppressing those symptoms versus sort of doing any long-term healing. Now, BodyTalk treatment and holistic health is all about listening to your body's unique story and helping the body to heal from inside out. So with these group healing sessions are powerful because it's energy medicine, it's beyond the concept of time and space. So as long as you are listening to the session anytime, it would help you and support you with your healing process. So I would like you to take a sort of a scan on 0 to 5, putting out what your symptoms and conditions are. How are your aches and pains, discomforts, fatigue, exhaustion? How are you doing at physical and mental health? How are you doing at emotional level? And maybe sort of revisit that scan 10 days after you have listened to the session and see if any of those parameters has shifted for you. Because these collective group treatments are powerful in shifting stuff, and many times awareness towards it would help. So for now, I invite you to sit comfortably. If you like, you can pause the video and take a few minutes to take a quick scan on how you are doing and pencil out on the scale 0 to 5 what are your symptoms and stresses, and surely revisit it in 10 days time and drop me a message on how you're doing. So once you're ready, sit comfortably, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. And firstly, we are working on balancing the brain. So we start from the base of the head. I'm gently tapping on the head, heart, and gut. And we are focusing on improving the circulation between the left and right hemisphere of the brain. So this technique is to get the brain out of the state of shock, to relax, and to heal. So just take a few deep breaths. And we are balancing all the lobes of the central nervous system, as well as the limbic brain, which is the emotional brain. So this is brain balancing technique called cortices, which you can do for yourself on everyday basis. Now I'm tuning into supporting a meridian which is called governing vessel meridian. This is one of the yang meridian which runs through the spinal cord, and I'm working on various acupuncture points to support this governing vessel meridian and yang wei ma meridian to optimize your immune system. So I'm picking up the flow of qi is slightly sluggish, and once the circulation and the qi is sluggish in these two meridians, it sort of impacts the immune system. So firstly, we go ahead and tap that out, and I'm focusing on balancing the governing vessel meridian and yang wei ma meridian. You don't need to know what these meridians are. I'm aware of these acupuncture points and I'm visualizing them, and I'm running some BodyTalk treatments to activate these acupuncture points and to optimize the flow of qi in the governing vessel meridian and yang wei ma meridian. Now we are looking at the immune system. Our immune system has got innate immunity team and adaptive team, which is the immune cells that look at the pathogen and react. And adaptive team is what looks at the pathogens and produces its own antigens, antibodies for any viruses, bacteria, and tumor. So firstly, what I'm looking at is the synergy between these two teams. So they are communicating well, they are functioning in synergy each time there is a pathogen or toxin. So what I'm picking up that the subtle senses of the immune system, which is the sense of smell, touch, taste, through which these immune cells are constantly scanning the bloodstream, the lymph flow, the environment, all the organs, looking for the threat, pathogen, or any toxins and tumor cells. So we are looking at running a defrag on these subtle senses, because these subtle senses are slightly disrupted, which in turn is translating the information to the immune system, where it's seeing its own cells as a threat and getting into an autoimmune condition by misinterpreting, and the discernment between self and non-self is slightly off. And I'm picking up this is the subtle sense of touch and smell of the immune system which is disrupted. So I'm going to run some programs and treatments to optimize the subtle senses of the immune system, specifically smell of touch and taste. And I'm anchoring it to the individuation process, which is the process of sort of clearing those filters, the misperception, so these senses are able to see and perceive the reality. So it's like clearing the distortion from these subtle senses. Then I'm also working on balancing the immune system to the gut brain, which is called enteric brain. The key consciousness of the enteric brain is discernment. And this is discernment about self and non-self, which is one of the key functions of the immune system, that it has to not only test all the cells, which are human cells and non-human cells, but it also has to constantly discern between all the viruses, bacteria, which are friendly microbiome within the body mind, especially in the gut, lungs, in all the ears, eyes, nose, and this constant discernment. So we are looking at strengthening the consciousness of the immune system by integrating it with the gut brain, so it's able to discern better. And what is blocking the discernment of the immune system is fear. So I'm picking up fear and trauma from past, and I'm tuning into the first 10 years of life, various different incidents where it was not all about not feeling safe with the environment. There were toxins, heavy metals, chemicals, as well as emotional, psychological stressors. So I'm setting up this treatment, which is called search and retrieval, on the prefrontal cortex, which is the higher brain computing function. And we are looking at setting up the filter to look for what are those stressors in your life, whether it's emotional, psychological stressors in the first 10 years of life. Second thread is to look for body chemistry, which means chemical stressors, heavy metals, toxins, pathogens, viruses. Everything that has triggered the nervous system and the emotional brain into this fear of survival. So we are looking at running these programs to highlight all those memories, emotional, psychological, as well as physical stressors in form of toxins and chemicals. And then we are running a treatment called active memory synthesis to surface all that emotional stuff, surface it, synthesize it, and release it, as well as to clear the toxins by running a body chemistry treatment. So this is to clear the causative factor, and the effect of this causative factor is the impact on the epigenetic markers. Now, epigenetics is the impact of the environment, influence of the environment on the DNA. And we are looking at the epigenetic markers on the immune cells, specifically the natural killer cells and the T killer cells, that has sort of triggered these cells into overproducing inflammatory hormones and reducing the histamine, as well as triggering this fight and flight overreactive function of the immune system. So with this piece of treatment, we are looking at clearing the causative factors, emotional, psychological stressors, everything accumulated in the past, and this is unique to your life. So your nervous system, your prefrontal cortex will look for all the stresses in your life, as well as all the chemical toxicities, and run these programs and treatments, and then clear those epigenetic markers which are on the natural killer cells and T killer cells, tipping the volume of these cells into overproducing inflammatory hormones. And I'm running a treatment called cellular repair to clear these epigenetic markers. Other piece of treatment that is showing up as a priority is hydration at the cellular level, specifically in form of easy water, which is H3O2, which is also called equalized water, and exclusion zone water, which is the fourth phase of water. It's the viscous water. Now the body uses this water for clearing toxins. So when we are talking about lymphatic system, releasing toxins, whether it's physically, emotionally, we are looking at hydration at the cellular level, as well as hydration through the lymphatic system to be able to clear these toxins. So we are looking at running this program for hydration, optimization of the immune system, the subtle senses, as well as another priority that I'm picking up to support with this autoimmune conditions is detoxification. And this is detoxification at the level of liver, at the level of lymphatic system, and cellular detoxification. So we are looking at running a treatment called body chemistry to look for all the toxins accumulated over time and how they are blocking the liver and the lymph nodes and the lymphatic circulation. So I'm running a program called body chemistry, circulation and hydration, specifically to the lymph nodes and liver, optimizing the liver meridian to be able to flush out the toxins. So detoxification is another piece of treatment we are looking for. So with this treatment, we are focusing on firstly brain balancing, stress response, meridians, epigenetic markers, detoxification, and lastly, the priority that I'm picking up is rebooting and optimizing the gut microbiome. So I'm running a hydration and circulation plugin. We are setting up torsion fields to be able to bring in just the right gut microbiome profile for you. So each one of us would have a very unique gut microbiome profile, and we are looking at rebooting your healthy gut microbiome, which in turn supports the immune system tolerance and producing more anti-inflammatory hormones. So I'm setting up these treatments, and I'm going ahead and balancing and integrating it by activating the central nervous system, head, heart, and gut brain. So while I'm doing this, I'm running all these medicines at the energetic level, all these treatments such as body chemistry, active memory, working with the meridians, cellular repair treatment on the epigenetic markers, balancing the subtle senses, balancing the lymphatic drainage, and the gut microbiome. As well as another piece of treatment that I'm picking up is optimization of the chakras, specifically the solar plex chakra, to give that strength to the immune system, and the base chakra for bringing in electron circulation. So I'm energetically programming all these treatments by activating the head, heart, and gut brain, and running these programs, which are a combination of Chinese medicine, Western medicine, and psychology. So all you need to do is take a few deep breaths, and if you like, you can tap out your head, heart, and gut. Or even just listening to the treatment would be helpful. So take a few more deep breaths as I'm programming these treatments. So no matter when you're listening to this session, and just tap out your head, heart, and gut to activate this for yourself. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking at body releasing a lot of fear and inflammation. Detoxification may look for you in form of change in bowel movements, any sort of release through the nasal discharge, or change in the bowel movements. So let's see how this session goes for you. Please drink more water. That will help support synthesize this treatment. You can tap out codices technique, which I showed you. It's also on my YouTube channel. I will put the link here. That is a self-help technique which you can do for yourself on everyday basis. And surely take a review after a couple of days, after 10 days, on how your symptoms are doing. I look forward to hear from you. So thank you for joining me. Feel free to reach out if you want to book in a personal session. Bye-bye.